Right, if you have been having some problems with pistol squats, maybe you accepted the fact that you cannot do them, or you've even been told that they are just not the right exercise for you, make sure you watch this video. Yo, what's up? This is the G from Force Training Academy, checking in from the Corriban. During the last couple of sessions, as the third phase of the break, we delve into the pistol squats. We're doing some negative assisted pistol squats, pretty advanced exercise, and most of the athletes are doing them fine, but some of them are having problems. Some of them are having valgus knees, that is when the knees are caving. Some of them are having cracking and clicking with every single rep. Some of them are even having knee pain or ankle pain, and they ask to substitute the exercise itself or to skip on them. And you know what, I'm not really up for skipping. I think human movement is designed for humans, and if you cannot do certain types of movements, it's highly likely because you are dysfunctional and not because the exercise is dysfunctional, apart from things like internally rotated loaded exercises and stuff like this, which you know shouldn't really do. But apart from that, functional movement should be functional for humans. So if you go for the basic 6 squats, pistol squats, handstand push-ups, leg raises, push-ups and pull-ups, everyone should be able to do all of these without any problem. So when you have some issues with the pistols, so to say, caving the knees in, that's not the exercise fault. That's probably a movement error from your part. So what's happening here is you already know that to generate stability in the squat, you need to squeeze your ass, prism protection, activate your gluteus medius to put some external rotational torque onto the feet. So you're not rotating your feet on the floor as per se, but you're putting this external rotational torque on it. Okay, so that's why I teach people to keep their feet close to parallel when they are squatting, because the closer to parallel, the more you have your toes pointing forward, the more torque you can generate. Now, for some guys, it is important to have some sort of angle in the feet, otherwise the knees will crack in a different way. But still, I'm not talking about 45 degrees, 90 degrees, and I'm definitely not talking about knees caving in, pointing internally, as opposed to the feet pointing forward and the knees pointing out on the side, right? So you should always be, let me see if I can film this while I'm getting down to a squat. You should always be in the position of having your feet pointing inwards compared to your knees. It never should be the case of this, although it's surprising how many people I see doing that. So usually you do that, right, by squeezing your ass and generating this kind of external rotational torque, which would be, if I lift up my feet, it looks like this. If I don't lift up my feet, it looks like this, right? Now, the problem with this one, it works when you're standing on 2 legs, but as soon as you lift one leg up, you lose the ability to stabilize your torso. And so when you externally rotate, show you again, when you externally rotate, not this is what happens, but simply you just turn, right? And this is the position you want to avoid, because now if you're getting down to the squat, your knee will point inwards, and there's nothing you can do because you're standing on one leg. So if you squeeze your ass, if you pinch your ass, your torso will just turn into the direction of the force you generated from the hip. What to do instead? Well, you can stabilize from the bottom up. So what happens when you're squeezing with your ass is your leg externally rotates. Your ankle, due to the mechanics of the joint, rotates everses a little bit. You sort of start standing on the outer edge of your feet. So instead of loading into the big toe, you're loading into the pinky, right? You're loading on the side of a pinky much more than you're loading on the side of a big toe, thus elevating the arch of the feet, stabilizing the ankle itself, and reaching all those little corners of your mobility, what allows you to shove the knees out of the side while still having dorsiflexion in the ankle, so you can get down into the bottom of a squat without ending up on your ass. When you're on single fit, it's really hard to do that because, as I said, your torso turns out as soon as you squeeze your ass. So what you can do is to stabilize from the bottom up. That is, instead of squeezing your ass, what would result in you turning, you would just lift your feet. You would get up on the outer edge of the feet to stabilize, and you can, as it produces the same external rotation. And if I stand on one leg and I do this, I can still keep my direction. If you approach the single leg squat this way, then you just stabilize the same set of joints from the bottom up, but you stabilize from the top down when you're on double legs. So if I set up for the single leg squat this way, right? Let's go assisted so I can hold the camera. My knee naturally will start to go into the right track. My feet points forward. Everything is nice and set as it's supposed to be. Test it for yourself. Let me know if it works. The most important thing is to find a way to stabilize either for the bottom up or the top down your knee. So your knee joint will glide in its own guided path. When you're lunging, there is a phase when you're essentially doing a single leg squat. There is no way for you to stabilize from the hips for the same reason. Might be that the torso doesn't turn out, but the opposing hip will definitely lose its direction and you end up with all kind of weird issues in your feet alignment during every single step. So if you have been wondering how to fix that stuff, it's exactly the same idea. You stabilize from the bottom up, so you get on the edge of a toe a little bit, and now when you get down to the lunge, the knee will travel in the right direction. This is especially not useful, but crucial when you're working on the balance board because it's soft, so it's easy to lose the traction there, right? Get on the edge of the feet, curl the big toe in, and now you lunge, and everything will fall into its place. Hope you find this helpful. Try it, test it. Let me know how it works. If you have any questions, be brave and ask them in the comment section. Hit that little like button, and if you like the content, just subscribe. Push the bell so you've got all those annoying notifications whenever I decide to answer your beautiful question. Anyway, have fun, good luck, and enjoy your life.